It's that time of year again, children. Halloween.
Welcome to Campfire Ghost Stories. I'm your host, Pat McGuire. And today we're going to be taking a look at one of the creepiest legends tied to any Civil War battlefield. Join us as we explore the story of Old Green Eyes. Nestled in the rolling hills of northwest Georgia, the Chickamauga battlefield is a place of immense history. It is the site of one of the bloodiest battles of the American Civil War. It is also steeped in paranormal tradition, none more enduring, perhaps, than the ghostly figure with glowing green eyes. The Battle of Chickamauga took place in September of 1863. Over 100,000 Union and Confederate soldiers clashed here in a brutal fight that left more than 34,000 casualties. Even today, visitors say the echoes of that violence linger. The thunder of cannon fire, the cries of the wounded, the weight of sorrow hanging thick in the air. People come to pay their respects, but some leave with more than just history on their minds. Some leave with a story. The legend of Old Green Eyes begins on Snodgrass Hill, where soldiers from both sides reported seeing a strange figure at dusk. They described it as tall and gaunt, with long, stringy black hair, a grotesquely deformed jaw with fangs that protruded from its mouth, and those piercing, glowing green eyes. Those who saw it swore they felt both mesmerized and terrified, like they'd come face to face with something not of this world. Fast forward more than 130 years, and a group of reenactors were camping overnight on the battlefield. As they sat around their fire, the atmosphere suddenly shifted. The air grew heavy. The warmth of autumn gave way to a winter-like chill. One of the men spotted something emerging from the tree line. The others turned and saw it too. A tall, thin figure with glowing green eyes, gliding toward them, voices whispering all around them, but no one else was there. They froze, paralyzed by fear. Some felt overwhelming sadness, others raw dread. And just as suddenly as it had appeared, the entity retreated into the woods and was gone. There are countless stories like this. One couple staying late in the park wandered off the path at twilight. They stumbled into a clearing, and there he was, Old Green Eyes. His gaze locked on them, and they felt a charge in the air, an almost electric energy. But instead of coming towards the people, the figure seemed to reach out, as if longing for recognition. Moments later, it faded into the mist, leaving the couple shaken, but strangely moved. One of the most notable encounters comes from Edward Tinney, a park ranger and historian at Chickamauga National Military Park. In 1976, around 4 a.m., Tinney was checking on a group of reenactors when he spotted a figure on Glen Kelly Road. It was over 6 feet tall, draped in a long black coat with stringy black hair hanging to its waist. Fearing he might be attacked, he crossed the road. But when he came parallel to the figure, he noticed it had turned towards him. Tinney swore it flashed a devilish grin, with a deformed jaw and eyes that were blazing green. Just then, a car came down the road. As its headlights hit the figure, it instantly vanished. So who or what is Old Green Eyes? Some say the story dates back long before the American Civil War, to native traditions about a malevolent spirit guarding the land. Others believe it was once a Confederate soldier, known in life for his piercing green eyes, a soldier who was killed on Snodgrass Hill at the Battle of Chickamauga, who is now doomed to wander the battlefield. The earliest written accounts appeared in the late 19th century, only decades after the battle. Veterans returning for reunions shared their strange encounters, passing the legend along to each new generation. What might have been dismissed as the trauma of war grew into one of the most famous ghost stories tied to any Civil War site. Today, Old Green Eyes is more than a ghost. It's part of Chickamauga's identity. Visitors to the battlefield today still leave coins, letters, and tokens for the fallen soldier. Ghost tours often feature the legend, drawing the curious and the brave. Whether he's real or imagined, Old Green Eyes serves as a reminder of the sacrifice and sorrow on those terrible and great days of our past, and just how long that past can linger for. And as the sun sets over Chickamauga battlefield, the shadows stretch long across the ground. And if you listen closely, the wind whispers through the trees of 1863, and perhaps it whispers of Old Green Eyes. Thank you for joining me on this eerie journey into Civil War history. If you liked today's episode, please consider subscribing to the History Things podcast. Like, subscribe, and share on your favorite podcast apps, or search for us on social media at the History Things podcast. Until next time, I'm your host, Pat McGuire, just reminding you that sometimes history doesn't stay in the past.